internet connectivity issues in Iran. How devastating. How fucked up. It's like, bro, our president currently wants to utilize the FCC to do a media blackout in the freest country on the fucking planet because he doesn't like the accurate coverage that the media accidentally does every now and then. Like, and we are not under imminent threat at all. We are the threat.
We turn now to the foreign minister of Iran, Abbas Araghchi.
He dead, bro.
Good evening to you, sir.
Well, good evening to you. Thank you for having me for the second time.
Yes, Ordinary Times. Minister, President Trump said this weekend he is not ready to make a deal with Iran because the terms aren't good enough yet. His administration is saying this war could last another 3.5 weeks or so. Has Iran asked for a ceasefire?
No, we never asked for a ceasefire, and we have never asked even for negotiation. We are ready to defend ourselves as long as it takes, and this is what we have done so far, and we continue to do that until President Trump comes to the point that this is an...
Bro's jerking it? What? Did it look like I was jerking off when I was tossing my salad? In front of 45,000 people, I just decided to whip it out. Idiots.
Illegal war with no victory. And, there are, people being killed only because President Trump wants to have fun. This is what he has said.
Have fun?
We are not. Yes, this is what he said, that they are sinking, ships and targeting different places because it is fun.
He did say that.
The
oh my God. When your president is so stupid, when your president is so unimaginably stupid that the foreign minister of an adversary just repeats what he has said and you don't believe it.
Has said that there is no mercy. Mm-hmm. And this is actually, even saying that is a... So this is a war. This is a war of choice by President Trump and the United States, and we are going to continue our self-defense.
Well, that may be your position, but sir, this is a war of survival for your government. Minister, don't you have to negotiate and reach out either directly or through a third party?
No, it's not a war of survival. We are stable and strong enough. We are only defending our people from this act of aggression, and we don't see any reason why we should talk with Americans, because we were talking with them when they decided to attack us, and that was for the second time. There is no good experience talking with Americans. We were talking, so why they decided to attack us? So what is good if we go back to talk once again?
Well, I want to come back to that in just a moment. You're referring to the diplomacy with President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and his envoy, Steve Witkoff. But just to continue on this, Iran is sending its drones and it's into your neighboring countries, American allies throughout the Gulf.
Okay, there has to be some journalistic value at a certain point with these conversations. Why do they always ask this question? I've heard Abbas Araghchi answer this same dumbass question on this show before. He's been on Face the Nation twice. This is now the second time he has asked the same question. And every other question they keep asking the same. They're like, why are you retaliating against American bases in the region that we're trying to launch attacks off of?
Before the war, your government traded with them. You had relations with them. If your government survives this conflict, how do you go back to doing business with countries you're sending drones into and hitting civilian targets?
Well, obviously, these are the countries who have given their soil to American forces to attack us. So what can we do? We just sit and watch that American forces are attacking us from their soil, and
but your drones are going into civilian areas and hitting plants and hotels and civilians.
No, this is not the fact. we are only targeting American assets, American installations, American military bases. Everything belongs to Americans. And this is a fact that they are using their soil. There are many, many examples. Just yesterday, they, attacked our islands using HIMARS artillery rockets, which are low-range, rockets, and they used the territory of UAE to attack us. A week ago, 3 F-15 jet fighters were shot down, apparently by a friendly fire in Kuwait, but nobody asked what they were doing in Kuwait. They were using Kuwait and, airspace of a neighborly, a friendly country to attack us. So it is obvious we cannot just, remain,
right. Well, so many of these countries are part of CENTCOM, but this is going to hurt your country in the long term. But when we talk about the Strait of Hormuz,
that's crazy. Yeah, don't you think it's already hurting the country in the short term? Don't you think it's already hurting the Iran in the short term right now? The very fact that all of its neighbors have American military bases that are being utilized, their soil is being utilized to attack Iran,
which is such an important transit point for global trade. You have said it is closed to Israel and it's closed to the United States. The Financial Times is reporting that European diplomats from France and Italy are talking to your government about trying to get safe passage for their ships. Are you open to restarting oil and gas vessels going through there?
Well, we are open to countries who want to talk to us about the safe passage of their vessels.
You are negotiating with France and Italy?
Well, I cannot mention any country in particular, but we have been approached by a number of countries who want to have a safe passage for their vessels, and this is up to our military to decide. And they have already decided to let a group of vessels belongs to different countries to pass in a safe and secure. So we provide them security to pass because we have not closed this strait. They are not coming themselves because of the insecurity which is there because of the aggression by the U.S.
I want to ask you again about the negotiations. Iran has declared it has 440 kilos or so.
We'll cover that in a little bit.
Of nuclear material. Where is that material now? Who has custody of it?
Well, we have not declared. This is verified and declared by the agency.
That's right.
This is not a secret. This is not a secret, The agency have said in his many reports the exact amount of our enriched, material.
Yes. So where is it now? Who has custody of it?
So they are under the rubbles. Our facilities were attacked, and everything is under the rubbles. Of course, there is the possibility to retreat them, but under the supervision of the agency. If one day we come to the conclusion to do that, it would be under the supervision of the agency. But for the time being, we have no program, we have no plan to recover them from under the rubbles.
Am I understanding you here? Because I know that you said 48 hours before the U.S. strikes happened, you had personally offered to President Trump's negotiators to take that 440 kilo amount of 60% enriched material and to dilute it. You said Iran was ready to give that material away. This was in the deal that was also presented to Vice President Vance by Oman. Today, is Iran still willing to let go of that enriched uranium?
Well, that was one of the elements of a deal that we were negotiating with our, American interlocutors. That element dealt with the question of Iran's 60% enriched material. And I offered actually that we are ready to dilute those enriched material or downblend them, as they say, into lower percentage. So that was a big offer, a big concession, in order to prove that Iran has never wanted weapons and would never want them.
Are you willing to give that up now?
Well, there is nothing. Everything depends.
Dude, the fucking Face the Nation anchor is not capable of conducting diplomacy with a sovereign foreign adversary that we're currently waging war with. Are you going to give it up? Tell me, are you going to give it up? He's going to say, we're not giving anything up right now because we're in war.
Depends on the future. If any time in the future we decide to enter into negotiation with the US or other interlocutors, we may decide what to put on the table. For the time being, nothing is on the table.
There are at least 4 Americans being held at Evin prison that we know of, including a journalist, Reza Valizadeh, and Cameron Hekmati, a 61-year-old man. What is the status of those Americans? Are they safe?
This part is beast mode. Listen to this.
Well, if the U.S. and Israel do not attack our prisons, I guess they are safe.
Foreign Minister, we are running out of time, and I can see the internet is going in and out here. I just do want to point out, you're speaking to us via Zoom.
Are you guys going to bomb them? No? Okay, then they're safe.
The Iranian people don't have open internet access, but you do. Why?
Well, because I'm the voice of Iranians, and I have to defend their right. So this is why I have access to internet to just have our voice being heard by the.
I'm sorry. Again, you want to know what the honest answer is? Because they're under fucking attack by Israel and America, and they do not want infiltration. They do not want additional worries of espionage. They don't want America to be able to fucking, turn on the propaganda faucet like they're known to do and cause complete fucking chaos. So you mute the people? Yes, 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 yes. What do you mean? Like, it's war, man. It's war. It's war. What the fuck are you talking about? It's war. Nah, mate. Like, I'm sorry. You can't fucking, there's a line. Yeah, this guy, Cheyenne John, he's got it. He's like, if I can't fucking jerk off on Pornhub for one day while there's bombs exploding over my fucking head, I'll kill myself. Nah, mate, there's a line. You have to let Israel infiltrate the country with their spies. Fuck you.
International community. But internet is closed because of the security reasons, because we are under attack, we are under aggression, and we have to do everything to protect our people. In any country, there are, urgent measures taken for the sake of war.
Minister, I'm glad the uplink worked to talk to you right now. We thank you for your time this morning. Face the Nation will be back in a minute. Stay with us.
In Tehran, a new era has begun, of sorts. Not the one America or Israel wanted. The Ayatollah is dead. Long live the Ayatollah, his son. Iran's airspace closed. We came overland, among the only international journalists currently allowed in, to witness the...
It's also really funny because they're like, wow, I can't believe that there's this internet connectivity issues in Iran. How devastating. How fucked up. It's like, bro, our president currently wants to utilize the FCC to do a media blackout in the freest country on the fucking planet because he doesn't like the accurate coverage that the media accidentally does every now and then. Like, and we are not under imminent threat at all. We are the threat. We should still chat about how America will shut off mobile connectivity at protests at the time, all the time. How are people so stupid that they think that we're under same circumstances as Iran, that the U.S. shut off the internet as well? Yeah. Like, America literally got Larry Ellison, one of the IDF's biggest billionaire donors, to purchase TikTok because Americans were too aware of the war crimes that our tax dollars were contributing to. And you're over here being like, wow, how can Iran do such a cruel thing? Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? They're under attack.
Impact of this war on the ground as it continues to escalate. In an exclusive interview with Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, an ominous warning as speculation grows that America may next send in troops.
Even suggesting that a foreign country can put boots on the ground of another country, invade another country, occupy the land of another country, is something very much rogue, very reckless, illegal, and against all international law.
There are thousands of US Marines on the way. What happens if they get used, do you think?
We defend.
What does that mean, though, for these Marines if they were to land in Kharg Island?
Just read what happened in Vietnam. I hope that wisdom prevails and diplomacy prevails on the other side. They understand that those who drag them into this war can drag them into also a quagmire for them.
The government still seems in control here, but while the new supreme leader's face may be everywhere, he's not been seen yet.
Have you seen him? Is he okay? Is he well? Any information about his welfare?
I'm not in the business of speculations. You know that. We are just working by facts. He's healthy, he's in charge, and he's doing whatever is supposed to be done by him.
Why haven't we seen him?
Because the war is happening, and because the moment that he or his office decides to do that, they will do that.
Across the capital, across the country, Israeli and American airstrikes are leaving deep scars. Whole buildings are razed from the map. This is what so-called...
Yeah, where's Bibi, bro? Also, I don't care. He might be dead. I don't give a shit. I'm not Shia. I'm not Iranian. I am, however, aware that whether he's dead or alive doesn't change the dynamic at all as far as like Iran's ability to continue waging this war. You know what I mean? That's why it's like kind of funny that these guys are like, well, is he dead? Is he gay? Is he alive but a homosexual? Like, who cares, man? Are you eating the fucking Shahed drones? Are your buildings and your military bases hungry for Shahed drones or not? That's what I care about. Who cares if he's fucking dead? If you're an American, this conversation is utterly irrelevant. Seriously. Like, America could just keep decapitating the leadership of Iran over and over again. The way that their defense system works is this mosaic structure where there's like a very clearly horizontal, decentralized response measure that they've already implemented. The first Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, his father, Moshtaba Khamenei's father, was killed. And that's when they started pummeling all these countries in the region.
Smart bombs due to homes next door to their targets. An apartment left devastated. Its residents did not escape unscathed.
The man who lives here doesn't want to talk on camera, but he's told us that when the explosion happened, the blastways filled his apartment with thick dust and smoke and put his wife and daughter both in hospital with broken bones and shrapnel wounds. Gives you a sense, really, that however precise the munitions that the Israelis and Americans say they're using, they generally always have some kind of around wherever they're targeting.
Many have fled the capital. Those who remain try to carry on as best they can. In the market, they're shopping for the Persian New Year at the end of the week. Some prepared to share their fears and concerns.
It's very unsettling. Nobody can predict what's going to happen next. We want the war to be over soon. Nobody knows how the situation will develop.
It's extremely awful. Nobody is buying anything and I can't do anything about it. Business is not good at all. It's not normally like this before New Year.
What's striking is that things are carrying on as normal, as much as they can, even though the war's happening. But there is a tension, not just because of the war, but also because of the protests, the unrest that happened in the weeks before the war that was so brutally suppressed. A lot of people won't speak on camera, but off camera, they're saying things like the situation is terrible, business is awful. And one man said to us that whatever happens during the war, he hopes when it's over, things can change for the better.
But with no sign of de-escalation from either side and no sign of diplomacy, the prospect of this being over soon seems dismal and distant. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Tehran.
What would it look like if Iran assassinated Netanyahu? I mean, it wouldn't change much from like the Israeli calculation because those guys are crazy. Like the country demands this death and destruction. So I don't think it would like cause Israelis to pull back or anything. It would martyr him because he's still like somewhat of a polarizing figure individually. His actions are very popular as far as like waging these wars. But the Israeli foreign policy wouldn't necessarily change. But I think people would love Iran. Like I think people would open up banners to the IRGC, to the Ayatollah, to Moshtaba Khamenei. Like there would be, the third world would absolutely erupt in joyous celebration. 100%. 1000%. That's what I think. It wouldn't change much in Israel, though. Some people are saying they'd use nukes. I don't know if they'd use nukes for that, but I think they're more likely to use nukes if like their defenses diminish so much that like Iran and Hezbollah were able to destroy many buildings.
This is all that's left of a medical center in Burj Kalawai in southeast Lebanon. A smoldering mass of rubble hit by an Israeli airstrike that killed 12 medical workers inside.
Oh, the air is still thick with smoke. The building has been completely destroyed. And look here, boxes of medicine and pills, medical files everywhere. You get a sense of how enormous the blast here must have been.
On Friday night, it was set ablaze. Entire medical team. They were doctors, paramedics, and nurses. Their job to respond to the injured in nearby villages. One of their colleagues was outside.
I heard the very loud whistle of a missile, and suddenly a very bright orange light in front of us. So we knew right away they'd hit the center. We rushed in and started searching for the martyrs.
The UN has confirmed all 12 people killed were health workers. They were having dinner when the missile came without warning. They had nowhere to hide.
We've just come round the back and look, 4 floors completely blown apart. This building is a shell, and a reminder there that this is still very much an active zone. We're hearing outgoing fire here from Lebanon. It feels a very dynamic, very dangerous part of the world right now.
The Lebanese Ministry of Health has accused the Israeli government of criminal conduct. They say 32 medical workers have been...
I mean, they're Nazis, man. They're Nazis. They're not held accountable. But like, if you're confused, well, a couple things. One, if you're wondering why, and I haven't even gotten to this part of the story yet, American attitudes towards Israel shifting so dramatically in an irreparable manner. Israel is totally lost. The messaging war, and as I always say, this is the most popular. You mean Hamas? You can't be... Dog, we're talking about Lebanon. We're talking about Lebanon, man. I'm joking. They'll say Hamas Ministry of Health. Oh, okay. Anyway, the point is, this is why Israel is like lost the messaging war. No one fucking believes them anymore whenever they come out with whatever bullshit statement. And also, this is part of the reason why Israel's unlimited cruelty of this sort has created a unique environment where like people find themselves unironically more sympathetic than they ever would be to American foreign adversaries. Like, I never could have imagined covering a war against Iran for 40, which is, you know, been declared America's #1 enemy for 47 years for ridiculous reasons. And I would have 42,000 people in here listening to what I have to say. And with very few instances where people go, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, things have changed. Things have changed quite dramatically. This is a real attitude shift. I know we occupy our little space on the corner of the internet, but it has been really interesting because like even in comparison to like how I spoke about Palestinian resistance right after October 7 and spoke about Israel right after October 7, like the overwhelming majority of this community was like, no, that's crazy. I'm not ready to hear this at all. They were not ready to hear any kind of humanizing perspective that talked about the actual victims of the 80 years of settler colonial occupation that Palestinians were subjected to. Whereas now the plight of the Palestinians hasn't just made people aware of Israel's unlimited violence. It has unlocked their consciousness in a way that I think is quite significant, in a way that many of you now who might not have been receptive to my message, which is just an accurate reflection of events, and an understanding of history from the perspective of victims. Many of you that would not have been open-minded to what I had to say on October 8th are now actually listening and have a very different attitude. You have a much more open mind to listening to the plight of those who are dispossessed, the plight of those who are oppressed by American empire. Lamau, tell us more, Mr. Israel intelligence isn't great. Are you unironically trying to defend Israeli intelligence and the big 226? Is that what this is? Dog, this is Israeli intelligence. Like, this is what Mossad does nowadays, is like come in to my fucking chat and annoy me. And be like, oh, where is Kaya? You are dog abuser. Why do you not shock Kaya more? Shock Kaya. You are Hamas. Oh, my life is the most fucking washed country on the planet, dude. Oh my God. There is literally not a more washed country. I mean, seriously. They're so fucking washed. They got like Asmongold doing propaganda. They're so cooked. And the best they can do is Asmongold being like, yeah, why do people care so much about Israel? I think like eventually people are going to get fatigued. I think people are inevitably going to get fatigued by Israel. Yeah, I mean, this is what I've been saying for years at this point. This is the most popular Israel will ever be in the United States. Tomorrow, Israel will be less popular than it is today. Something to remember for all the Jewish advocacy orgs that keep tying themselves to the genocidal entity.
Killed so far in this conflict. And this area is at the very heart of it, 7 miles from the border. It's part of Hezbollah's network of social services.
They are trying to create a false narrative that everything connected to Hezbollah is military. The medical centers and financial centers are being used to pollute the image of the resistance.
Donate to their live YouTube channel. Money go to Beirut. Do not worry podcast is doing a Beirut charity. Thank you for informing me, chatter.
Are dying, civilians too, hundreds of thousands are displaced. Are you willing to continue to fight despite their exposure?
The medical workers over here, as well as the firefighters, are here to rescue the people that are being attacked and injured by the Israeli missiles and aggression. And this is their natural right to stay in their lands.
Hezbollah want us to see this. That's obvious from the number of journalists that they've invited. They're not just fighting on the front line, they're also fighting a PR battle. But the IDF insists that they are using medical centres like this and ambulances for military purposes. Whatever the truth, though, it is a...
Yeah, come on. You keep saying Israel lost a messaging war. What you are not contending with is that the messaging doesn't even matter anymore because this is now the new norm. What they did in Gaza, they are now doing in Lebanon with zero repercussions or any kind of pushback from anyone. No meaningful consequence. You must realize this by now. Yeah. Then we move the conversation to the next phase, which is that at the domestic level, we don't have real democracy. Okay? That's it. I know. There are still many hills to climb, many hurdles to overcome. But what good or what productivity do you derive from this statement? You know? I know. I'm aware that their betting public opinion doesn't matter as long as the leadership of the GOP and the Democratic Party are with them. Congressional Dem leaders seem happy to ignore voter sentiment on this one issue, just as Biden-Harris team ignored it to keep the arms transfers going. The question I have for you guys is, why are you looking for reasons to quit? Okay, our voices don't matter for now. Okay, if your voices were completely irrelevant in this conversation, Israel would not have spent billions of fucking dollars every single year to ensure that you were kept pliant, to ensure that you got the proper social conditioning and the social learning to think that Israel was actually the most consequential, most moral ally of the United States of America. It's that fucking simple. Of course it matters. Of course broad awareness matters. Are you out of your fucking mind? Take it from someone who's been doing this for years. This change has been unbelievably fast. The next step in this battle, because the awareness initiative is not done. There are still Americans who fuck with Israel. We got to work on them every single day. But then on top of that, Israel's foreign lobbyist arm, AIPAC, and its million different subsidiaries are still actively trying to destroy the process of democracy in this country. They're still petitioning the government to take stringent action against naysayers. They're still aggressively dominating American politics. They're still going. So now the goal is to fight back against that, right? The goal is to increase awareness into the many different ways that Israel is engaging in a whole bunch of trickery to deny the democratic results of the population by confusing people in the primary system, confusing them to not vote for anti-Israel candidates when that's clearly their goal, right? To make it seem as though that there is no democratic desire from the population to decouple from Israel when there very clearly is one. It's already working, and that's precisely the reason why pro-Israel and Israel first Democrats and pro-Israel and Israel first Republicans, well, mostly Democrats, Republicans don't give a shit, but most of these Democrats are now talking about, oh, I will never take AIPAC money. I'll take money from the same AIPAC donors. I'll still be pro-Israel, but I won't take AIPAC money. Oh, here. Look, here I am talking to the wonderful Michael Jamal Brooks. This was, I believe, 7 years ago. Rest in power to Michael Brooks.
I'm shocked that I haven't been reported to the ADL thus far, but probably because the platforms that I routinely criticize Israel on have actual partnerships with lobbyists and the state of Israel, and literally routinely take down Palestinian, like pro-Palestinian Facebook groups, and also censor my videos. And like, this is not a conspiracy theory. Like, they literally censor my videos that I've done on Israel. So that's probably why the ADL hasn't caught wind of my my perspective, even though they are both good and bad at times. But I think they overreact a little bit when it comes to the criticism of Israel is the same as anti-Semitism.
So, I mean, anti-Semitism is a totally real thing, and 100%. Also, and you know, and to me, like, one of the reasons that I'm very wary of the misuse and cynical deployment of wokeness and this and that to advance bad politics is because this is the shit that I grew up about Israel. You know what I mean? When I would say, like, hey, like, of course nobody should be harmed. We're not talking about attacks on Israeli civilians or anything like that. We're talking about justice and rights and democracy and freedom of movement for everybody there, period. And people would hit me back with, like, yeah, but have you ever been there and been in that community and this and this and this and this identity shit? Nah, fuck that. No.
I was watching an interview Hasan did with Michael Brooks years ago, and in it, Hasan mentioned how the ADL didn't know him yet. Little did he know, almost 6-7 years later, he'd become the CEO's #1 focus. I quit watching Uncle Sam after Emma started She's Insufferable. You're so wrong. You're so wrong. Emma actually, I think, carries Michael Brooks's torch very well. Emma is awesome. And it has been wonderful seeing her grow as well. I think she was definitely a lot more libbed up initially. She is so aggressively calling out Israel on a daily basis. That's crazy. Emma's ideological journey has been wonderful. That was a wild thing to say. Crazy to hear that. The fire that started in the ship's main laundry areas last Thursday, by the time it was over, more than 600 sailors and crew members had lost their beds and have since been bunking down on floors and tables. Oh, that's crazy. That's funny. What do you say to that?
Against international law.
All right. Thanks, Kate. Well, the candidates.
All right. We're going to get to the Illinois primary election that's taking place tomorrow. Yes. our military's dicks are hard, but so are their betting situations currently. This is funny. In a series of White House meetings, American oil executives delivered a bleak message to Trump officials in recent days. The energy crisis the Iran war has unleashed is likely to get worse. This is why I said, for the record, this is why I said even the capital owning class is not like fully on board with this, because like at least like this wasn't a point of concern when we invaded Iraq, right? This was actually welcomed. The invasion of Iraq was welcomed. Oh yeah, we'll piece it up, right? We'll piece up Iraq. It's no longer in the hands of the state. We can take advantage of it. We will extract it ourselves. It's awesome. These are the guys who are supposed to make big money out of this. Except their oil tankers are kind of stuck too. And they also have a piece of the extraction of like Saudi Aramco, for example. Like it's their companies that are also playing a role in extracting oil from this area that Iran has effectively shut off. So it actually hurts them a little bit as well, especially because their assets are getting hit, right? This is another reason why the Iranian escalation ladder directly strikes at the heart of capital, which, again, very valuable lesson for anyone that's listening, any government that's listening, any country that's listening, any group that's listening. This is a very important lesson. You strike at capital and you make America listen, okay? That's why work stoppages are very important. It's the most effective tool in the tool belt of labor, okay? Because every single one of those guys that you're seeing on that photo is still very much a servant to the interests of capital, okay? So when Iran strikes like an Amazon data center, that hurts the Amazon bottom line. That causes the Amazon lobbyists to make phone calls to people in Trump's orbit to be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Deal with this now, right? That has secondary impacts. When they say we're threatening American banks in the Gulf, that hurts the interests of capital, once again, finance capital this time around. It's a reminder that things would be better and they could continue doing trade in the ways that they want to if they were to get the president to stop fucking blowing up Iran. Did Saddam lack capital? Is that ultimately what led to the fall of his government? Did he lack capital? It's not that Iran has capital. It's that Iran has the power to disrupt flows of commerce and disrupt capitalist interest in a very important region. Do you understand? Global capitalism requires stability. It also requires imperialism, but there's a balance that you need to strike. That's why you don't fuck up the bag too hard. Striking Iran at the behest of Israel is fucking up the bag too hard. You understand? Can you explain what you mean by target the banks? Iran has threatened to blow up American banks in the Gulf region within striking distance. We're gonna get to the Cuba situation in a second. It's also one of those things where, like, if they were to do damage to profit centers without actually harming civilians, damage to, civilian life, who the fuck in the United States of America or anywhere else for that matter is gonna be like, wait a minute, the interests of Citigroup, like, hold on now. My uncle's name is Citi. I'm Citigroup. I'm Mr. Citigroup. Why are you attacking me? Do you see what I mean? There's motherfuckers in my chat being like, please strike Mohela. Like, Ayatollah, please. Supreme leader of Iran, please. My heart is yours. Take out my student loan debt relief. Take out my student loan debts, please. Joe Biden couldn't do it, but if you do it, my heart and soul for the IRGC. Because these are forces that oppress the ordinary people, right? Who the fuck's going to defend them? Also, here's additional assessment. U.S. intelligence assessment says Iran's regime likely to remain in place for now, weakened but more hardline, and with powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps security forces exerting greater control. Oh no, who could have foreseen this? Who could have seen this coming? And this is funny though. The fire that broke out, dude, at Lint in the laundry room has taken out 600 beds, lit it on fire. So the war efforts are going really well. Also, over 3.2 million Iranians displaced in the last 2 weeks, over 800,000 Lebanese displaced in the last 2 weeks, over 2 million Palestinians displaced in Gaza and in the West Bank since October 7th, all in the service of one country and its genocidal neo-colonial project. A report published by David Vine at Brown University conservatively estimated that at least 5 million people have been displaced in Iran, Gaza, and Lebanon and the West Bank since October 7th, a mass displacement event to the tune of $31 billion in American tax dollars. Oh, this is funny. Iran's governing structure isn't a one-man show. It's a system. It's so, dude, the Iranian weapons have been striking American facilities so hard, it caused CNN to learn how the fucking Iranian governance works. Like, it is incredible how stupid the average person is, but it's also remarkable how stupid, like, the average analyst is as well, where they just have no interest whatsoever in learning how these countries work. And that's unironically part of the reason why these guys were dumb enough to think, oh, if we just do a decapitation, like, it's over, right? They're like, yeah, Ayatollah was sitting in a fucking room hitting the red button every time to blow up American targets. Like, they're by their estimation, I guess. When they heard that he's the supreme leader, they thought he literally was making final decisions on everything, and that there's no way that the government works at all.
The first wave of the military campaign against Iran killed the long-serving supreme leader, but the regime is still operating as designed. Its governing structure is unlike any other political system in the world. Unlike Iraq or Syria, where taking down the head of the regime made the whole system collapse, Iran is structured for longevity.
The Iranian political system is not a one-man show. It is a system.
President Trump told the Iranian people to
take over your government. It will be yours to take.
Update. Israel says displaced Lebanese people won't be allowed to return home. Gosh, I'm sure there's a tear on it. Yeah. It's called ethnic cleansing and ethnic displacement. That's precisely what it is. And that's what's precisely happening here as well. Fantastic. Ugh.
But that's more complicated than it sounds. Effectuating regime change in Iran will depend on big structural change, or even collapse. Here's how Iran built its government to sustain attack. Stream the full version of this story.
Yeah. CNN is surprised to know that countries in the global south have advanced systems of government and are not savage tribes living in jungles. Yeah. I saw this. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I need to look into it a little bit further. I know that you guys are, first of all, it's gross to like immediately run to celebrate this as like as a weapon to wield against Daniel Biss or some shit. Okay. It's ridiculous. Calm down. Daniel Biss, candidate for Illinois 9 in tomorrow's election, has been accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student during his tenure as a professor at the University of Chicago. Megan Watchspress, now a Stanford law lecturer, says she was that student. I know everyone's annoyed at how Illinois 9 is dominating our feeds, but I get the special bespoke annoyance that 20 years ago, one of the candidates decided it was a really cool idea to date his undergrad student, me, until, wait, no, it isn't, which is, as you expect, an unpleasant memory. Watchspress then shared a New York Times essay, What's Wrong with Sex Between Professors and Students?, saying she wished she had read it when she was 17 rather than 37. Megan says, if he's going to get a national profile on the strength of a younger woman's campaign, I'm going to come out and say it. During his short-lived tenure as a math professor, Biss had an inappropriate romantic relationship with one of his undergraduate students. I was that student. It took becoming a professor myself to realize the implications, what it means to be attracted to someone who categorically has less power than you. I don't know if it's disqualifying, but there are too many women not getting a platform as a result of behavior like this for me not to say something. I know everyone's annoyed at how Illinois 9 is dominating our feeds, but I get the special bespoke annoyance that 20 years ago, one of the candidates decided it was really cool. It was a really cool idea to date one of his undergrad students, me, until wait, no, it isn't, which is, as you might expect, an unpleasant memory. Anyhow, just going to plug this, which I wish I had read when I was 17 rather than 37. That was 3 days ago when she wasn't ready to say his name. It's, I mean, look, these things are, these are complex situations. It takes a lot of toll on the person to come out and reveal this information. I'm just saying that, like, you know, my policy on this stuff is to not reflexively disbelieve. the accuser, but instead to make sure that you get proper verification. It's that simple. Okay, that's it. As it stands currently, I have no tools to accurately make an assessment on the veracity of this claim, but I'm sure that there are some enterprising reporters out there who would, probably verify. Yeah, trust but verify. Especially considering that this is like an accessible person, right? Revolutionary liberal, always trust women. Oh God. This was the number one thing with Me Too that people like genuinely didn't understand. Before Me Too, and even after Me Too, let's be real, the common societal attitude in our patriarchal construct is that we reflexively disbelieved women. Okay? I have no reason to believe that this is fake, that this is a fake allegation. And the argument always, the like educated statement here when people said believe women was not to believe women outright, that women have no capacity to lie at any point or whatever. It's just to not disbelieve women immediately and not engage in victim blaming, which is what was happening. Okay? That's it. She said relationship, which means she was active in it, and while it's inappropriate and probably could and should have gotten him fired, it's not illegal. Undergrad is not the same thing as underage. Power dynamic? No, I think she says she's 37 now and might have been 17. So yeah, I think she was undergrad and also underage. So a twofer. That was just the title of the article. Oh, did I misunderstand it? I think she's 37 right now. She said, I wish I read this when I was 37 and not when I was 17. Plug this, which I wish I had read when I was 17 rather than 37. Timeline matches up 20 years ago. Maybe not. She's just saying she wished she read it when then, not that she was 17 at the time. She's probably 19. I don't know. If she is 37 years old right now, and this happened 20 years ago, as she says here, then she would be 17. It's just, I don't know what you guys are confused by. I think 37 minus 20 equals 19. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, that's how it works. Anyway, the point is, like this would be a part of the verification process for any sort of enterprising journalist, any sort of investigative reporter. I don't know how old she is, for example. Someone could find out how old she is and then tie it back to 20 years ago. Figure out when they cross-verify when she actually went to Stanford. Was Daniel Biss actually a reporting on it? If the account is who she claims to be, she's a professor of law at Stanford. Okay, sorry, she didn't even go to. It wasn't at Stanford. It was a different. She's at Stanford now. But this was in the University of Chicago. But what's wrong with sex between professors and students? It's not what you think. She's 42 now. The article's from 5 years ago, so she was 37 when the article came out. Anyway, regardless, like the allegation that she's putting out there is that even if she wasn't underage, that she like very clearly was taken advantage of in an inappropriate power dynamic if her allegations are substantiated. And I have no reason to believe that she's like just throwing random fake accusations out there out of nowhere. But yeah, hopefully someone investigates it a little bit further. Daniel Biss was a professor at U Chicago from 2002 to 2008. She was born in 1984, meaning she was between 18 and 24. Okay. We'll talk about like in a second. Oh, this is what I was talking about as far as like striking the heart of capital. This is kind of the Berlin Wall collapse photo of the hub and spoke airline economy. And to some extent, all intercontinental travel. How do you come back from this? Right? And Matt Petty says, it's kind of crazy how many economic eggs the masters of the universe put in the Gulf basket while also nursing an insane hostile obsession with the Gulf's next door neighbor. And they told themselves that the former was actually serving the latter. Donald Trump also said a former U.S. president told him in a private conversation on Iran strikes, I wish I did what you did. Trump declined to name the ex-leader. Was it George W. Bush? No. Was it Bill Clinton? I don't want to say. Trump said in the Oval. It was not Bill Clinton, former president spokesperson tells me. Maybe it's fucking Joe Brandon. I don't think it would be Obama. It was Obama? No, I don't. Bro, what are you talking about? Why the fuck would Barack Obama tell Donald Trump, I wish I bombed Iran, when Donald Trump's Like when Donald Trump literally destroyed his signature accomplishment, which was the opposite of bombing Iran, and actually unironically moving the region in the direction of stability and peace, it's infinitely more likely that it was Bill Clinton or Joe Biden. Hold on. He probably also made that up anyways. I mean, I could see, yeah, that's the other thing. Donald Trump could just be lying too. Like, I wouldn't put it past him. Oh my God, I forgot to show you guys the best defense of the Iranian war effort. HasanAbi, you are welcome for us letting you stream. Scott Besant. Thank you, Scott Besant. This is the best. Things are going so well, and you can really sense how well things are going.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard. It's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump. Because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it. Spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful. How many stories have been written about how hard it is to, I don't know, fly a plane for 36 hours? Has MSNBC done that story? Has Fox? Have we done the story how hard that is? Have we done it 2 or 3 times so that American people understand? How about how difficult it is to shoot a drone from an F-15 or 16 or F-22 or F-35? Or what it's like to man a Patriot battery? Or how hard it is to refuel midair, giving the American people an understanding of how complex and sophisticated this mission really was. There are so many aspects of what our brave men and women did that, because of the hatred of this press corps, are undermined because your people are trying to leak and spin that it wasn't successful. It's irresponsible. And folks in this room are privy to that information because of the proximity here in the Pentagon. It's an important responsibility. And time again,
you know he's knocking back a few before these, right? Like he must be. This is so awesome. He's literally crying and doing the same thing that Trump did after the bombing campaigns in the 12-day war. If you remember, he was like, "You're not yelling at me. You're yelling at our beautiful female bomber pilots. How dare you? How dare you say that we are incompetent? We in the command center are incompetent. When you yell at us for being fucking belligerent, bloodthirsty fools, you're actually calling the boys and girls that have taken up arms to defend this nation fools."
Classified information is leaked or peddled for political purposes to try to make the president look bad. And what's really happening is you're undermining the success of incredible B-2 pilots and incredible F-35 pilots and incredible refuelers and incredible air defenders who accomplished their mission, set back a nuclear program in ways that other presidents would have dreamed. How about we celebrate that?
It's so awesome. No, it's going crazy. It's going crazy style. Mission success.
How about we talk about how special America is, that only we have these capabilities? I think it's too much to ask, unfortunately, for the fake news. So we're used to that. But we also have an opportunity to stand at the podium and read the truth of what's really happening. And the reality is, you want to call it destroyed, you want to call it defeated, you want to call it obliterated, choose your word. This was an historically successful attack, and we should celebrate it as Americans. And
when you say I'm drunk, you're not saying I'm drunk as the Secretary of War. What you're saying is our beautiful F-35 bomber pilots are drunk. And that's really fucked up. When you call me, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, a alcoholic rapist, what you're actually saying is our beautiful F-35 bomber pilots are alcoholic rapists. Huh? What do you think about that? Guess what? That would really hurt their feelings. Okay?
Gives us a chance to have peace, chance to have a deal, and an opportunity to prevent a nuclear Iran, which is something President Trump talked about for 20 years.
Just because I'm drunk right now and may or may not have actually paid a victim off to silence her into submission after doing a violent sexual assault doesn't change that reality. Are you calling, look at this flag. Look at this flag behind me right now. Are you saying that the person who knitted this flag is also a drunk rapist? How dare you?
20 years.
It's wonderful that is just another clear-cut sign, another clear-cut indication that the war efforts are going very well, okay? Reporter, do you have a comment on the 6 service members who died last week? Oh. Updates for the last hour. Back to Bonzer Berry. More CRAM firing over Baghdad. Oil field in Erbil is under attack. Missiles and drones in Dubai, Saudi, Erbil, Bahrain, and Israel. IRGC announces the targeting of Sheikh Issa and Al Dhafra bases with cruise missiles. Please check out Hegseth's post. Oh, I saw this one. Yeah.
I don't know who need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people be talking shit about America. Hey, if you don't like America,
cattle, bro. Straight up.
America, go to another country, bitch. I love this country.
Some of the most propagandized people on the planet. Once again, straight up. Like this is this is what I mean. Americattle.
I'll protect this bitch.
Like, by the way, I have noticed something. There's a lot of propaganda on Twitter of specifically black and brown active duty service members. Have you guys noticed that too? Like a lot of like dancing videos of like, oh, we're going to Iran. Like, oh, we're going to blow it up. All this shit. And it's almost always black and brown service members. What the fuck is that? Are they doing like, are they pulling like a IDF? Like they're trying to wokeify American imperialism? Is that what it is? 10 to 15 years more and these boomers will die off and they're cooked? No, that's not gonna, you can't rely on that. Yeah, a lot of black women, like a lot of black women in the military. I saw that one where this lady was like, oh, I signed on, like I bought my first house because I'm, active duty. Like there was another one where like these girls were dancing at the base. Well, even if the black folks are loving it, then we must be right as posed. I mean, kind of. Are the benefits really that good? Fuck no. No, it's a lie. Yeah, they did this too. Look, another version of this. These are old too. A lot of these are older videos. I've seen this video before. I've seen this. This is an older video that they're resurfacing. And so is this one.
Steak, Capri salad, asparagus underneath, garlic bread that I already been into, lobster, hush puppies, a baked potato under this. Steak, that's pretty good. Capri salad, so good. Asparagus, okay. Baked potato. Let's try a piece. Lobster. Oh, that's so good. Hush puppy. Garlic bread. This might be my favorite thing. Shrimp cocktail. Wow. They ate fruit salad. Mango's so good. Got watermelon.
They get to eat this every day, right? No, it's the last time they get to eat it. When you're in the military, you get to eat this one time. Yeah. You can eat it after you get out of the military. Okay, that's also not true. You get it. You get it before deployment. It's a little bit like the Last Supper to boost morale. Lieutenant Mukbang.
I don't know if you could see, there's an actual fruit salad. It's like nuts, blueberries, and like some kind of cream on it. It's like cinnamony. Pecan pie. Oh my gosh. Not better than my mom's, but that's pretty good. White cake. This is the good frosting too. Chocolate cake. Ooh, she's soft. Oh my gosh, bro. That's so good. And I gotta get my Stanley, girl. Crisp. All right, girl. Time to get back to work. Woo! And by work, I mean an ice cream party.
So I hope, yeah, this isn't new. The military's been putting up billboards and advertising in black neighborhoods forever. They target black people. Yeah, it's not new. It's not new at all. Hello. Someone just got groomed. Little lady just got groomed. So that's not new at all. Yes, it is known that the American military is exceptionally predatory in their targeting of black and brown neighborhoods, impoverished neighborhoods in general. And I mean, we saw it in action, right? When we went to the block party in the South Side, like the Marines were there. They had like the Army was there. They were recruiting little kids. It's very, very indecent.
Brothers Defect has steak and lobster. How's your steak and lobster?
All right, damn near decent.
How's yours?
I'm ready for war.
We're going to war. I had to run it back.
So yeah, and then there was also this. This is what I was talking about. It doesn't even look like good steak. Yeah, of course it's ass, but it doesn't matter. When you're eating, it's better than fucking MREs and all the other dog shit you normally eat. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Stew.
CENTCOM fact check. CENTCOM is claiming all servicemen get freshly cooked lobster and steak meals. Lie. U.S. servicemen eat low-quality industrial slop before being shipped off to die for our greatest ally. Truth. Yeah, these are the MREs. I've tasted them on the broadcast, if you guys recall, a long time ago.
Meatballs and marinara sauce.
Almost fucking died, too.
Vegetable crumbles.
Cleric, our Iraq combat medic, sent me his fucking dog shit ass MREs back in the day in my P.O. box and almost killed my ass because one of them had like mold in it, and Will and I still ate that shit. It was terrible.
Beef strips and tomato sauce. Beef taco filling. Spaghetti and beef. Chili with beans.
Chicken noodles and vegetables and sauce. Elbow macaroni and tomato sauce.
These are little kids, by the way. I mean, they're gonna do violent, heinous shit, but like they are literally children. Okay, it's crazy.
Chili and mac and cheese.
Why do they look 15? Because you're probably in your 30s. They're like 18.
Meatballs and marinara sauce. I have beef stew. Vegetarian taco pasta.
You're still opening.
I'm fasting.
You're opening. What you got?
Spaghetti with beef and sauce.
Chicken chunks. Wait.
Oh, that's the worst. Vegetarian taco pasta. Chicken chunks.
Is it true that if Americans die for Israel, they get 72 burgers? Yeah, that's right. They get 72 burgers in heaven.
Got protein in.
Meatballs and marinara sauce.
Shredded beef and barbecue sauce.
Oh.
Yeah. Elbow macaroni and tomato sauce. Strips with tomato sauce. Spaghetti with beef and sauce. I got chili with beans. I got chicken noodles with vegetables and sauce. I got a beef stew.
Beef taco. Chicken chunk.
Chili mac. Shredded beef and barbecue sauce.
Kaya eats better than these guys? Oh, 100%. People in the military dancing to an AI diss track about Iran?
World War I, and we did World War II. Bitch, we'll do this shit again. You know, where the fuck do y'all stay? We ain't never fuck Iran. Bitch, we did World War I, and we did World War II. Bitch, we'll do this shit again. Iran, we ain't scared of you. No cap. Where the fuck do y'all stay? We ain't never heard of you. We send troops at your door. Bitch, you know we purging you.
How you gonna be Jack?
Just edited that audio over an old video. These videos read as satire. No, I mean, I can see that being an older video, but it is kind of weird. It's kind of weird, right? Like, do you see what I mean? Like, it's always black women. What the fuck is up with that? Is that like a psyop? What is this? It's always